Hugh, welcome back to Real Vision. Very excited to continue our conversation, to continue our journey talking about social tokens.
Ash, always a pleasure, and especially when I get the opportunity. I mean, I'm stoked for this one because I think we're going to meet some fellow creatives, and I'm sure at the end of this thing, I'm going to be even more bamboozled. But I'm even sure that I'm going to have a better comprehension of what this is all about.
Yeah. By the way, for people who are just tuning in for the first time, let's give a little bit of the backstory to how we got here.
Well, I mean, so bad boy macro hedge fund manager, finished, sat in a cave for 2 years. The one thing that I'm a risk taker, but I'm kind of full. I've been there, done it with other people's money, and I did like the frisson of live television and communication, risks with language, with appearance. And the ultimate is like when your finger hovers over the send or the live button and you do what we're doing. That's the new risk for me. So there was that. And then we had that wonderful, if you will, round the campfire sort of conversation, you, Raul, and me. And Raul's been this trailblazer. Well, I mean, the channel's been a trailblazer for the whole crypto thing. And there were a few, I guess, light bulb moments. There was this notion that the crypto has a speculative DNA, and that has to be observed and reflected upon. And actually, it potentially lends itself to being a kind of powerful engine to promote, sponsor, and support communities online. And I just feel like the whole decentralized system is now dominated by central giants who make these enormous returns. And I kind of I want to stick it to the man. I was attracted by this notion. In this, this world where I think we're living through a mild depression. We have been since the Great Recession, financial crisis of 2008, that the policy pursued, I think, is understandable by the world's global central banks. But of course, the grotesque problem with it is that it has separated asset owners from those not fortunate enough to own assets. And so trying to complete the circle, and crypto has many, many more things, and blockchain and the transparency and the power that it offers, allied with a kind of speculative thing. We're at a point where I feel we've got, everyone senses and recognizes that when you have these, fortunately, depressions, mild or otherwise, are far and few between, maybe no more than 5 in the last 200 years. And they seem to coincide with revolutions in money. And the revolution in money can offer the exit. And when I look around at what the central banks are doing, I don't see an exit. And so I'm hoping that this area could be the exit. And the exit has to be allowing those without assets to create easily their asset. Those who want to, it should be possible. And so if we can allow people to monetize their personality, their creative impulses, then I think it's the dawn of a kind of new monetary system.
Yeah, that's very well said. And you've hit on 2 incredibly important points. The first being the challenges we see in the global financial economic system with central banks, something that we've talked about here on Real Vision with you and with others. And the second point is this sense of decentralization. What's happening right now in the crypto space that's so exciting? It's really tough to know exactly how those things line up, how they're interrelated, but there's clearly some connection.
Which will be very, very obvious in 40 years' time.
Yes. If only we had 40 years. Well, that's what we're trying to do right now today is fast forward and get a sense of where we're going to be, as Raul always says, to live in the future, to get an understanding of where these technologies are going, why they're so significant, and how people are using them right now. A little bit of the backstory here in terms of how we came to have this conversation for people who may have missed the earlier episodes. We began that conversation with Raul, as you suggest, during that Pirates of the Caribbean session where it was you and me and Raul. You guys were in St. Bart's and in the Caymans having this conversation. There may have been some tequila involved. And we started talking about precisely this point, what's happening right now in cryptocurrency, in social tokens. Then you and I continued that conversation on Twitter, and I recommended that we bring in Kevin Chu from Rally, who's just a brilliant guy who I just happened to interview a few weeks earlier to help talk a little bit about what this journey has been about for him and his shop. And ultimately, they recommended that we talk to 3 people who are currently Rally creators who are doing these things right now in the Rally token, creating content. Here's something that's kind of cool, and one of the reasons I'm really excited about this show. At Real Vision, we do obsessive research on nearly every guest. I'm not really sure what we're going to hear. I just know that we're going to talk to 3 people with 3 really interesting stories and get some sense, some understanding of what they're doing and why it's significant. So I'm super psyched about this because I'm just unsure. I don't know. And that I think is really cool.
Welcome to my world. I spent every day either not knowing or not wanting to know, and so you touch hot plates, but you learn. But one of the things for me, let's talk about me, is I kind of want to go out and be creative and kind of speak to people and put my my views out there. But it's, as you know, like, to put these things together is time consuming. It's a lot of work. And superficially, it's very hard for me to kind of, I can't like put out a hat and say, hey, you want to donate to the hedge fund guy? You want to, you want to pay like $10 for the guy in the big house in St. Bart's. But, I can't do it like just for the love, because to do it properly, and I think the people we're going to speak to, this is their life, this is their vocation, this is every single day, and that needs a return. And so I don't know if I am I hope I'm not suggesting that the notion of having a coin on the Rally platform is of camouflaging the whole notion. But for me, I see it as a potent. It's not even a compromise. It's a means of me trying to be able to charge for the service, and so that I can make myself more available. The last 3 months I've disappeared. I've just, the real world other kind of exercises invaded my space, and they pay and this doesn't. So I'm hoping that with a platform, I can be compensated for my time. But how I see it, let's say I've got 7,000 subscribers, and thank you everyone on YouTube. But if you look at it and you see some of the absolute jerks talking about finance, and they've got 300,000, 500,000, 600,000, and so for the community, the chance is to kind of come in, give coins out, the speculative appeal is to kind of make the reasoning. Well, but what if he's at 500,000 and actually I have this right of access an hour every month, and I can put questions, and that has value to me, but it has value to the coin holder. So that's really the kind of hook for me. That's why I'm on the edge of the seat, trying to kind of wanting to hear the real life experiences.
Hugh, I think that's perfectly said. And the point that you made that I'm so interested in is I want to hear how these folks are adding value to their communities, because that's really what it's about, what it is they're doing and how they're providing value to others through these platforms. I find that to be the most fascinating question.
And for me, I spent all of my life looking at charts. The notion that actually you can see some daily trading in their coins, and the feedback and the kind of wisdom, in inverted commas, but the information that is revealing, that's genius. I want to see. I want to live in a world. Do I want to live in a world? I don't know, but I can conceive of a world. When you see these science fiction movies and people like the billboard advert is, it kind of picks up from their Instagram and it shows you whatever on the billboard, a kind of Blade Runner thing. I want to see a world where you turn around and you see the share price of your token. My token would be like boom down, but I'm sure for others it'd be boom higher and higher. I'm intrigued by that kind of world.
Hey, if you like this clip, be sure to check out the full interview and more only on realvision.com/crypto. It's 100% free. Sign up now.